on the timeline of the universe. A few seconds ago, I was just 18 years old. Do you remember what it was like when you were 18? Did you have a flame burning like a fire inside you, hoping that one day you can be who you want to be? Ladies and gentlemen, Headmaster, let me share with you today my greatest passion. Ever since I was a teenager, I had wanted to be an opera singer because I'm forever tempted to try and break a glass by singing a high note. Oh, I better be careful. Some of you are wearing glasses. But when I was small, my family couldn't afford to pay for those expensive music lessons. And I was already 18 when I started to take my first serious music lesson at first year university. A very late start indeed. All my classmates were those who started to learn to play the violin or the piano since they were 4 or 5 years old. I felt so small among them. Still, the flame inside urged me on. Perhaps, maybe, possibly, I could change to major in music. My brother said, "You won't be able to earn a living." Was that the reality of life? Would you have agreed with him? The finance was a concern. My mother, on top of taking care of me and my 5 other siblings, would have to find extra funds for me to study an extra year in order to catch up. My very quiet mother only had a few words to say. I love you enough to hope that you trust, and to trust that you know what you're doing. But I do want to help you to be who you want to be. Leave it to me to find the extra funds. My mother didn't know anything about opera, but she was willing to protect my flame. I couldn't disappoint her. I rode on my chariot of fire and made it all the way and made her proud by graduating with first-class honors. When you're driven to be who you want to be, nobody can stop you. Nobody, except a cute baby. When I became a mother, I struggled hard to balance between family, work, and music. There were many nights I had to leave for a concert. My then 2-year-old daughter was standing in the doorway, refusing to wave goodbye. In her eyes, I saw lonely, longing, lingering looks, as if she was saying, "Mommy, I love you enough to let you go." It was just heartbreaking to leave her. And that happened a few times. And I knew I had to make a decision. The reality of life was my mother sacrificed for me. Now, it's my turn to sacrifice for my daughter. You would have done what I did. I had to put my flame on hold. It was a very long 15 years before I finally felt free to pursue my dream again. My brother said, "Aren't you too old to go back and perform singing on stage?" Was I too old already? Was that the reality of life? I can't let age shatter my dream. I had to find my way of reigniting my flame and be who I want to be. I found myself a new coach, and he said, "You've got to learn the perfect mouth shape for singing. You all want to learn this? It's like Miss Piggy's mouth. As if you're going to kiss somebody. I practice hard while I travel on public transportation. I would sing silently like this. And people around me would move around like this. But I didn't let that bother me. When it was concert performance time, I just poured my heart out. Don, don, del, del, don, del, del. My fans, I paid them. At the end of the concert, my daughter came and said, "Mommy, that was a touching performance." My brother said, "You are not too old after all." And my mother said, "I still don't understand what you're singing." Even strangers came to me and said, "Thank you for warming our hearts with your singing." By fanning my flame into a bonfire, I did not only warm myself, I also contributed to warm all those around me. What about you? You have a flame flickering inside? Hoping that one day you can be who you want to be? Perhaps like me, you have to start late. Maybe you have to put your flame on hold. Possibly age got in the way. The reality of life is it's always waiting to blow out your flame. But you know what? On the timeline of the universe, every day is a brand new day. So it is never too late to be who you want to be.
Thank you, head girl Vanessa. We are really proud of your achievement and performance. Thank you. You are a role model of our junior students.
Thank you, Headmaster. Apart from thanking you, allow me to thank one other person. Because without that person, I would not be where I am today. Right before the in-house international speech contest, I couldn't pull my speech together. And those who know me, I'm a perfectionist. Can't really put anything that is not ready on the table or on the stage. So I phoned him up and said, I'm going to, not take part in the international speech contest. But I was encouraged to repeat an old speech, something that I never did before. But I thought, there's so many new members here that could learn from another speech that I had before. And under those circumstances, I really did repeat that speech. Unfortunately, won. What happened was, just the very next day, because I felt so supported, just the very next day, I managed to go to the Cantonese club and use a new speech. And then 2 days after that, on a Thursday, I went to the advanced club, TGIT, and got another version, which is the initial version of the flame. So, and one thing lead to another. And this person has been keeping me company. We have late night conversations. Only on WhatsApp. No photos. Always typing.
Who is he?
And recently this guy is showing me his ring, Stay away from me, I have a ring. But it's a new ring, so I don't know where he got it from. And last time I missed the chance to thank him publicly. This guy went to Chengdu with me and did something publicly secretive. If you saw it, you saw it. If you didn't, I'm not allowed to say it. So I just feel really supported. And I want to thank him publicly. And you know who he is? Not you, Willie. Yes. Where's James? Hiding behind the camera. Please come to. Just a very tiny word. Thank you. Thank you.
That's your ring, yeah?
Okay. Thank you, Jim. We would like to give a gift to Vanessa, which means fortune. Do hope that you will bring along the gift to Washington, D.C. and got your championship again. But don't cut your hair too short. It's already very short. Emily, please. You should bring it with you to Washington, D.C.
Thank you very much. One off the back.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Okay, it's time for Sylvia and Patrick to show you some other things. Thank you, Vanessa.